Welcome to the third episode of our talk series, Talking Politics with Dotun Oladipo. I am Dotun Oladipo, the managing editor of the Eagle Online and host of the show. As was predicted in the second episode of our series, that there will be a flurry of activities once the president, Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari, returned to the country from the extraordinary summit of the ECOWAS heads of government in Accra, Ghana on Saturday. So was it. As soon as he was airborne, information filtered in that he will be meeting with the presidential aspirants on the platform of his party, the All Progressives Congress, at 9 p.m. on Saturday. At that meeting, President Muhammadu Buhari, rather than his initial stance before he traveled to Madrid in Spain on May 31, said he was leaving the issue of choosing a consensus candidate to the aspirants to decide. This was contrary to the initial position he put before the governors elected on the platform of the party, that they should allow him to choose his successor. At the meeting on Saturday, at the State House in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari told the aspirants that he had confidence in their ability to choose a consensus candidate among themselves, adding that the assemblage was rich in terms of human resources, and it showed that the country is blessed with capable people that can successfully steer the ship of state into the future. And then he went ahead to tell the aspirants, this demands that our party should become more aware of the changing environment, be responsive to the yearnings of our citizens, reevaluate our strategy, and strengthen our internal mechanism so that we would sustain the electoral successes. I am pleased to note that the party, recognizing the significance of these demands, has over time developed several democratically accepted processes and policies that promote consultation, internal cohesion, and leadership to facilitate victory at the polls. The president then went on to recount how he has also met before then with the governors, adding, and I quote him again, these steps have been taken to ensure that the unity and cohesion of the party are sustained and to provide direction. Among other things, I reminded the APC governors of the need for the party to proceed to the 2023 presidential elections with strength, unity of purpose, and to present a flag bearer who will give Nigerians a sense of hope and confidence while extending victory for our party. I extend a similar reminder to all of you, distinguished aspirants. The president then went on to give assurances to the aspirants that, contrary to his initial position, he was not going to choose solely who succeeds him in 2023. He said, and I quote again, given these circumstances, I charge you to recognize the importance of the stability and unity of the party, which cannot be overemphasized. Similarly, I wish to remind you that a choice of flag bearer must be formidable, appealing to the electorate across the board, and should command such ability to unify the country and capacity to address our critical challenges. Ahead of the convention, the party machinery has screened and found all aspirants eminently qualified. Recognizing this, the screening committee has, among others, recommended that consensus building through consultation be intensified. Without prejudice to your qualifications, I urge all of you to hold consultations amongst yourselves and with the party with a view to building a consensus in a manner that will help the party reduce the number of aspirants, bring up a formidable candidate, and scale down the anxiety of party members. End of quote. But while all of this was happening in the presidential villa in Abuja, there were also moves outside of the villa that appeared to have forced the hand of the president into taking this position. One of it was the decision by 11 governors elected on the platform of the president's party, that is the APC, from the northern states, who said to the president categorically in a statement they issued that same night that it was just a matter of what makes sense for the party to zone the presidency to the south, with President Muhammadu Buhari having done 2 terms of 8 years. Top on the list of those who signed that statement were 11 governors. Aminu Bello Masari of Katsina State, Abubakar Sani Bello of Niger State, Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State, Professor Babagana Zulum of Borno State, Nasir El-Rufai of Kaduna State, Mohammed Yahya of Gombe State, Bello Matawale of Damfara State, Simon Bakola Long of Plateau State. Aliyu Wamako, a former governor of Sokoto State, also signed it. The governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, signed it. And then one of the aspirants also for the presidency also signed it. The governor of Kebbi State equally signed it. That's Abubakar Atiku Bagudu. Now, what did they say in that statement? Let me quote them partly. They said, after careful deliberation, we wish to state a firm conviction that after 8 years in office of President Muhammadu Buhari, the presidential candidate of the APC for the 2023 elections should be one of our team members from the southern states of Nigeria. They went ahead again and said, it is a question of honor for the APC, an obligation that is not in any way affected by the decisions taken by another political party. We affirm that upholding this principle is in the interest of building a stronger, more united, and more progressive country. We therefore wish to strongly recommend to President Muhammadu Buhari that the search for a successor as the APC's presidential candidate be limited to our compatriots from the southern states. We appeal to all aspirants from the northern states to withdraw in the national interest and allow only aspirants from the south to proceed to the primaries. And very quickly, Governor Abubakar Badaru, who also bought the form of the APC to stand for the presidential election, announced his withdrawal from the poll. In fact, this was also contained in that statement by the northern governors. I quote them. We are delighted by the decision of our esteemed colleague, His Excellency Governor Abubakar Badaru, to contribute to this patriotic quest by withdrawing his presidential aspiration. Shortly after that meeting with President Buhari, there was also information that a former Zamfara State Governor, Ahmad Yarima, has also withdrawn from the race. That is yet to be independently confirmed. But there have been talks about what actually led to the position that the northern governors took after having supported an open contest in the party. Some sources informed that there was a meeting in Sokoto State the night before the president met with the aspirants. Very credible and informed sources said that one of the top aspirants from the south was at that meeting and prevailed on the Sultan of Sokoto State to convince the governors from the north on the need for equity and fairness by zoning the presidency to the south. And that's what has happened. We were told, ultimately, by the time the president returned, and he was briefed on what has taken place. And then the statement by the governors and leaders from the north. That position of the governors from the north has been well applauded by the Southern Governors Forum, which is chaired by the governor of Ondo State, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu. Some have commended the role of the Sultan in the old drama that has played out in the APC. And that is because at the point that the party was, the future was very shaky. And one of the reasons for that was the fear that one of the top presidential aspirants and national leader of the party, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was likely going to leave the party and move ahead. So in a way, it has affected the initial justification of the position to produce a Southern candidate, because the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, which is the major opposition party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is from the north. And the argument then was that the only way to tackle a northerner as influential and is a huge bill builder like Atiku Abubakar is to then have a northern candidate who will be acceptable to the old north, which is believed to have more voting power than the south, for the APC to confront him successfully. But then the drama continued, with some saying that it is not impossible that when and if there is a need for the former Lagos State governor to leave the APC, he could head in the direction of the PDP. And what the party worked against in 2015, having a Muslim ticket, could become possible. That is having an Atiku Abubakar and Bola Ahmed Tinubu presidency. That fear reigned so much within the party at some point. And then also the fear that Asiwaju Tinubu could also leave for any of the major parties that could provide him a platform, including the Social Democratic Party, or opt out of the election completely and then back another party that will produce the president in 2023. And this will be any of the three of the People's Democratic Party, Social Democratic Party, or the Labour Party, where Peter Obi, the former governor of Anambra State, has already emerged as the presidential candidate. As it is, what the president has done on Saturday is to give validity to the position of the Presidential Screening Committee of the APC, headed by a former governor of Edo State and also a former national chairman of the party, Chief John Odigo-Oyegun, that in as much as it is good to have consensus, where it is not possible, all the parties involved, that is all the aspirants, should go to the primaries, and that the APC should provide a level playing ground for all. The committee specifically said that this will be in the interest of peace within the party, for it to arrive at a consensus with mutual trust and belief. He then went on to say that where this fails, the party should proceed to elective primaries in strict compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act and the party's constitution. The party goes to the primaries from Monday, which is June 6th, and it is hoped that at the latest by June 8th, a candidate will be announced for the election. How this pans out with the number of aspirants who have announced their decision to withdraw from the primaries, including some from the South that are yet to be officially confirmed, waits to be seen in the next few days. But as it is almost certain that the APC will zone its presidential ticket to the south ultimately. Don't forget that you can always contribute to this program, either by sending in a 2-minute video or an email to info@theeagleonline.com.ng. I take that again, info@theeagleonline.com.ng. Your contributions should be civil and straight to the point. So we wait to see how things pan out at the primaries of the APC, which starts on Monday in Abuja. That is June 6th, and hopefully by Wednesday, which is June 8th, a candidate would have emerged for the party. Our next episode, which will come at about that time, will then examine who the candidate is, what he's bringing to the table, and his chances against other candidates who have emerged so far from other parties. Hope to see you then. My name is still Dotun Oladipo, the host of the show.